Всем привет и доброе утро. Hello to all of you all across the world. I hope all of you are looking after yourselves and looking out for each other. Welcome back to another video. Do you recognize this thing? Because a lot of people, most people do. I want to talk about one thing that's really important to me, and a lot of that is my childhood memories. Now, over the last few years, I had been talking about this here up on my YouTube channel, but also since I've been finding more of these from my family, I want to talk a lot about the memories. For myself as an adoptee in the 1990s, I always remembered so many memories, but I don't remember coming to New Zealand after I was adopted from Archangels, Russia. I don't remember anything in Russia, of course, and I've always talked about that just with the memories that I do remember as soon as I got here. My first memories, my earliest memories, would definitely be my third birthday, and I found more of these tapes, more of this history of my childhood, and just more with the family. And as an adoptee, it is so important. I want to talk about also the connections and why they were so strong and why they were so important to me. Now, when I was growing up here in New Zealand, a lot of the connections as a child, I just couldn't really be by myself. I always wanted to be around people. I wanted to connect with somebody. I remember growing up, I was always quite emotional if somebody went out of the room or somebody went somewhere. I found it quite difficult to always, be by myself. I'd get quite upset when my parents would go away. Both my brother and I would get quite emotional. Would start crying. I'm talking about when we were 2 or 3 years old. Another memory I do remember so closely, and I don't have a videotape of this, but I do remember when the officials came to New Zealand to just check up on all of the children, and the Russian officials, they came to all the houses, they met with all of us, and I remember it so clearly. I was so emotional. I ran away, I was crying, I was upset. They must have said something. They were only speaking Russian, but at the time to each other. And I remember just running away and just going, no, I don't want to see these people. I don't want to be around these people. I don't remember exactly what happened or what they were talking about, and I just remember seeing them and just being quite intimidated by them. Many of us adoptees, there are so many of us here in New Zealand. Over 700 Russian adoptees here in New Zealand, many from Romania, many from Ukraine as well, and all of that stuff from the history growing up. I always had the support network as a child, and that was so important for us adoptees. I always say just reach out to each other, of course. Reach out to each other, talk to close friends, and have close family. Talk to somebody as much as you can, and having somebody who is also adopted to talk to is so important too. With my brother as well, both of us were adopted. We grew up here in New Zealand. We had a great childhood, and so many of the memories that I remember, was the birthdays, the best friends. I remember the best friends. Back in primary school, I had 2 good friends. Both of them have sadly passed away a few years ago now. Great friends. We used to play cops and robbers. We used to run around everywhere. We used to just laugh. We used to go to McDonald's all the time. Not all the time. Not McDonald's all the time. I don't go to McDonald's that much as a kid. No. But we're running around outside, all sorts of crazy stuff. This is the 1990s, mid-90s to 1990, late 1990s, early 2000s, all of that stuff. Those memories are so vivid to me. A lot of people tell me, you're stuck in the past. You always keep bringing up the childhood because so much of that is it's just stuff that I really remember vividly. I remember growing up. Of course I remember growing up. I remember just connecting with so many friends, and connecting with my New Zealand side was so important to me, especially in school. Going to school, some things I struggled with. I'm just trying to remember what I struggled with. I did struggle with math. I wasn't very good at math at all. My English was pretty good. I was quite a good reader, but I also do still struggle with just basic things of English to this day. And my Russian, I'll keep you all updated with that very soon. I've got a bit of a update with that. I have been studying it, all of that just with my Russian side, with my Russian culture, and with my New Zealand side and my New Zealand family. Now these, I've found so many of these. If you know what they are, I'm sure many of you know what they are. It's a VHS tape. This is what a lot of the old tapes were in. They were in little ones or bigger ones, mini DV. Also with my high school tapes, I found many of those, so I'll share some of those too. I used to film all sorts of stuff as a child, and because I always wanted to connect with memories, record memories, photos, videos, it's always been a passion of mine. As you can see here, videos and things like that. I've always wanted to connect with media or just recording my story, recording my life like that, because you're not getting any younger. Now that I'm 30, I gotta connect more, show my children this one day. My children would look at this and be like, hey, so this our dad used to do crazy YouTube videos, and yeah, I don't know, something like that. I had good friends, I had close friends, and those were the things that kept me going. The support with my family, always asking questions about birth family. My parents were always supportive about that. I never asked like every day. I asked a lot because I was so curious. I wanted to know about my birth family. I wanted to know about my birth parents. And as a child, my parents were always, from the early beginning, both of my parents, to my brother and I, would always tell us, you both were adopted from this place, you both came to New Zealand here and then, and also, as much as we know of your birth family is as much as you know. It's just the names on paper. We just know that they were young. That's what we were told. That's what my parents always told me. And I always was so happy just to know that as a child. I thought, wow, that's good for me to know that. I am very happy that they are open and honest, because that's so important for families. And I always used to say in all my videos, I say that word important a lot. I do know that, I understand it, because I gotta have a thesaurus, I think. Anyways, as a child, all of that stuff was so special, and the journey and connecting with family, the memories, so many damn memories. And I've shared so many videos up on my YouTube channel of so many of my childhood memories. And I'll keep you all updated as well with my birth family, my birth mother and my birth father. I have an update on them very soon. I really want to keep you all updated just with the family in Russia at the moment, and as well as, my family here too. So I've got all of that, so much of that to share. But childhood memories though, I don't know, I just wanted to reach out and ask all of you, what were your earliest childhood memories? What do you remember as a child? Leave them in the comments below. I'll definitely take a look at your comments and have a read of them. So that's for myself. That's just for me connecting with that. I always say to myself, during school I really did connect with so many friends, but also I just was learning so much about life. I was learning about, I was asking questions always about growing up. What happens after you leave school, leave high school? What happens after all of that? As you get older, I remember my parents, their age, they would have been mid-30s when they adopted my brother and I. And I'm 30 now, so it's, you always think they're so old as children. It's so bizarre to me, but that sort of stuff is always it's so fascinating, and the more of that happens, the more I start to connect more with that as well. Anyways, thank you so much. I feel like I'm rambling on. I don't mean to ramble on, but I want to share more of that, just more of my own side of that with my childhood. And now that I found so many tapes, I can share a little more previews of that as growing up. And also, getting my first bike, yep, I wasn't very good at turning corners. I was, even with the trainer wheels, but I can ride a bike now, of course. Just an update on that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Look after yourselves. Look out for each other. And until next time, до свидания из Новой Зеландии. И спасибо большое. Пока.